He's played 90 minutes 9 times in the entire 2022 calendar year. You know, he's a player that I think if you can get him to the level that he played during World Cup qualifying, he can be a difference maker in Qatar. And he's battling for his spot at the moment. We know that John Herdman has said Junior Hoylett can play in that position. He played in that position against Uruguay. So I think if Richie can get to a level where he got anywhere near the level in qualifying, that's a massive, massive upgrade for Canada. And you need this game in Japan to see if he can get in that form.
You would have said that at the end of qualifying that he would be a nailed-on starter, and that's no longer the case. And I think that's an important part of it, is it's not just fitness. Some of those TFC guys, aside from Osorio, who had an excellent season when he was healthy, they didn't play at their best. You know, Marc-Anthony Kaye is another one. Daniil Henry couldn't really get in the team. That, I think, is an issue as well, is the form as well as the fitness coming into this tournament. All
right, well, speaking of fitness, Jonathan Osorio, we saw him in that game August where he picked up the injury. Then we heard about the neurological issues, tried to come back in September where he just played 18 minutes. We're really excited, A, to see Osorio fit and to see what he can do here today.
Yeah, he's played 18 minutes since mid-August, so we need to see him play games. I think the Japan game will be a big measuring stick for some of these guys in terms of being at the tempo of, you know, a proper World Cup opponent. Today, I think, is a bit of a warm-up, but Osorio just needs to play all the minutes he can get. And this is a player who maybe, you know, may not start in the World Cup in that first game, but he's someone who plays such an important role, so tactically adaptable, that there will be a role for him at some point if he's ready to go. And I think, you know, with him and Loré, you have to give them the opportunity to show that they're fit because of what they've done in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. An enormous part for me within this squad, on and off the pitch. We know he's a real leader, and you get that respect because of what he's done, but he's going to need to be able to give other people that kind of energy, that kind of leadership, and he can only do that really if he's okay with himself. Thankfully, he is. Toronto FC continued to train fully for about a month after their season was over, playing 90-minute games. He was playing regularly in those games every Friday, so he feels match fitness-wise he's ready. Obviously, game rhythm is very different. The other thing is the profile of this Canada team, the way they're going to line up. I don't think if we play a back three and then a front two, a midfield two, I think mainly we're looking at him playing a bit more in an advanced role, and I think you're going to see him playing in that role today. And maybe in a World Cup that you could say that's David, you know, Davies, and then one of Larin or Buchanan. So, but maybe when you're winning a game or you need that injection or to start a game against Morocco with the quality and the tactical versatility that he's got, I think he can play in those positions. That midfield too, it's interesting to see today that with Atiba Hutchinson coming back and lots of play, there's a lot more battles in there for that. I think Osorio a little bit higher up the pitch where he can make a difference in the final third is what Canada wants.
Starting 11 can tell us a lot, but so can the bench. So when you look at players on the bench, and in particular in that midfield, what stands out to you?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because they've gone today with Kone, Osorio, you know, they've got Piet and Kaye. And I think when you look at someone like Marc-Anthony Kaye, we just talked about how big of a game this is for some of his other Toronto FC teammates. This is an enormous game for Marc-Anthony Kaye. An enormous game because, you know, he hasn't had the rhythm. He's another one that you say, Ollie, that's really struggled for form. He's had some fitness concerns as well. And, you know, I think this is, an opportunity for him to prove to the coaching staff that he can be trusted again and try and get close to 90 minutes. You know, I don't think there's any of this kind of switching and making major changes at half-time here. Go out there, test yourself physically and mentally and see whether he can play significant minutes in the World Cup for Canada, because at the moment he's not a bubble player for the squad, but he's a bubble player for significant minutes.
For sure. It feels like a last chance to show that he can play at the World Cup rather than just be a part of the squad. And you did wonder today whether they might play Ismail Kone in that deeper position where he's generally played for Canada, if not for Montreal, to get him minutes in the role that you'd expect to see him in Qatar, right? And that might have meant Kaye missing out. So the fact that he's in the lineup, I think, is a big boost for him, but a big opportunity for him as well to show I can still contribute here, because he has fallen down the pecking order.
Speaking of Major League Soccer and seeing those players, a big shout out again to Max Crépeau, who is the MLS Cup champion with LAFC, but it came at a cost. KJ, we know he has broken his leg. You could argue that was a game-saving challenge in extra time, but he's going to miss out on the World Cup. Who's now your number two?
Well, it's Dane Sinclair. And, you know, Canada are very blessed with three, arguably 1A, 1B, and 1C. And I mean that because Crépeau is very close to challenging Milan Boyan going forward. Let me tell you, if you don't know about this young guy, it's time to start paying attention. You know, he's a brilliant goalkeeper at Major League Soccer level. A lot of Canadian players now are starting to see their stock rise, and I think this is a player that you'll see as well. I've known him for a long time, and I was very blessed to also be at the Combine when he made an enormous mistake in front of all these MLS scouts trying to play out from the back, and in the end, Minnesota picked him up. He's worked with the excellent goalkeeper coach Stuart Kerr, formerly of TFC. You know, and they rave about Dane. He's a brilliant shot stopper. But the other thing about him when you get to know him is that moments are never too big for him. He's got a very slow heart rate. He can get into the game very well at a point where he's not going to be concerned about if he doesn't get the ball for a long time. He's not got his opportunities. But I'd love to see him get more opportunities, and I don't think he's a player we should be worried about at all.
No, it's a position of real strength, and I know no one's really thinking about this yet, but it's going to be interesting to see going into the Gold Cup, going into the 2026 cycle as well. There'll be some real competition there, I think. Crepeau's ready to go. Sinclair is a rising star for sure, I agree.
All right, well, there's a lot of names we're being introduced to here. For some people, maybe the first time, but for others, you already know the name of Joel Waterman. After 1 year in the CPL playing with Cavalry FC, he became the first player in that league to make the jump to Major League Soccer. And while playing with CF Montreal, he caught the eye of John Herdman. He's now been called into his 5th national camp. He's still looking for his first cap, but that has not deterred him from setting goals of making the World Cup roster.
Something that surprises me every time these kind of things happen. Just really blessed to be here and get a call, especially at this time with one more window before the World Cup. So I haven't been here for about a year, but I'm really happy to be in, and it's just honestly hard work from where I came from, and just opportunities that came my way, and I've just taken advantage of them. I think it's just seeing if I perform against the likes of, Fonzie and Joe David. I think, if I can defend those guys, I'm in a pretty good spot. So it's just testing myself against, some of the best strikers in the world. They've told me that they want to see me in those types of environments, and I'm really excited just to keep training. And whether I get game time or not, I think I'm just here to be a part of the brotherhood and just see if I can do my job and give the team in any way, shape, or form, my contribution and my value as a player. Everything I've worked for not only the last 3 years, but my whole life, to wear that jersey and to get that first cap. That's what I'm chasing, and what incentivized me to play so well this year. So I still got a lot more to do, a lot more work to do, but I'm excited for it. I think I've hit every Canadian ranks from university to PDL to everywhere. So it can be done, obviously, now with the CPL. We needed our own domestic league. So for me to hit every rank in the Canadian football, kind of channel there, it shows it can be done. And hopefully I can just be an inspiration to guys and give them advice to how I kind of went through the journey. And there's a lot more coming along the way, I'm sure.
We'll see if dreams do come true and find out if Waterman will be a part of Herdman's final roster, because the roster reveal will happen this Sunday, November 13th in the morning. Be sure to join our YouTube channel, youtube.com/OneSoccer, because we will have a live reaction show taking you through all the players who will be going to Qatar. Well, on this Remembrance Day, we take the time to honor the men and women who defend our freedom, and those who will not grow old because they made the ultimate sacrifice so we can. We thank you, and we remember you.
We're used to labels. Apologetic.
I saw you $10. Invest it wisely.
Yeah, I'll probably just squirrel it away in mutual funds at the bank and watch their high fees suck the life out of my retirement.
Seriously?
No. Switched to Questrade last year. Huge difference.
Really?
Hey, man. Love playing games. Just not with my money.
It's time to switch to Questrade, Canada's fastest growing online broker. Download the app today.
Want your clothes to smell freshly washed all day without heavy perfumes? Try Downy Light In-Wash Freshness Boosters. It has long-lasting light scent, no heavy perfumes, and no dyes. Finally, a light scent that lasts all day. Downy Light.
The long-lasting scent of Gain Flings made it smell like Dave was in his happy place. The massage chair at the mall. But he wasn't. Gain flings with OxyBoost and Febreze. Bye-bye, tough odors. Try Gain Odor Defense.
Want your clothes to smell freshly washed all day without heavy perfumes? Now they can with Downy Light In-Wash Freshness Boosters. Just pour a cap full of beads into your washing machine before each load to give your laundry a light scent that lasts longer than detergent alone, with no heavy perfumes or dyes. Finally, a light scent that lasts all day. Downy Light, available in 4 naturally inspired scents.
Life gets better when you have space. With no long-term contracts or leases, get the size you need. First 4 weeks free. Access Storage. Proud partner of Canada Soccer's men's national team.
Ismail Kone's meteoric rise from fringe player to potential World Cup contributor was marked during his progression from recent World Cup qualifiers to last month's exhibitions. The 20-year-old has played his way into the conversation after coming of age this year and helping Canada qualify for its first World Cup in 4 decades. Could Kone be a key contributor in Qatar? Here's KJ and Ollie on the evolution of Canada's promising midfielders. We welcome you back to the show. Gentlemen, take it away.
He's still only 20 years old. Undoubtedly, I think he is the next Canadian star. We don't use hyperbole much here on the show, but a star I think he really could become, Ollie. Let's talk about Ismail Kone. Still only 20 and a player that has taken over an MLS game in the playoffs and really won a game by himself. But it has been an evolution. We go back, I think, first of all, to some of the clips we played in his debut, which was the final World Cup qualifying in Panama. And it didn't go his way all the time, but sometimes you need failure in order to improve. And this is some of the clips we show here. A bit of a struggling start in his debut here as you see him in midfield.
Yeah, he was brought off at half-time in this game, and he had a really difficult time of it, and you're going to see in some of the clips here just the physicality of playing a World Cup qualifier, the lack of time and space maybe compared to what you're used to at club level. I think it's important to put this into context, though. At this point, this was back in March, obviously. He played 7 professional games for CF Montreal and 10 minutes off the bench for against Costa Rica for Canada. So to even be playing in a World Cup qualifier is absolutely remarkable. I don't think of this was a case of the occasion being too much for him or him being nervy. I just think the pace of the game went up a little bit in a way that maybe he hadn't experienced before and wasn't quite expecting. And you could see a lot of loose touches, you know, some misplaced passes in key areas, just not quite clear enough in his decision making. And this was a difficult 45 minutes for him, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, remember, Canada, you know, at this point, they'd accomplished what they needed to do collectively. It was a time to see what players they could do. And I think getting this first professional start for Canada was a crucial one because he's never going to forget this. He's already spoke about the ability to learn things. That's obviously a play that we don't want to see him make too often and putting his defense under pressure. But, you know, you talk about it. This was only March, and he'd only started his first professional game this year. 2022. You know, we're used to all these meteoric rise stories now with his Canadian players who, you know, suddenly become, you know, stars like Alistair Johnson again, another game today, you know, international appearance 27 in a row since he made his debut. Let's get into what we saw with him then in the Uruguay game. And if we play this through now, there's a lot of things to like. This is not long after against the star team here in midfield. You can see Ismail Kone. Let's play this through, and as we do, I want to particular highlight something in particular and what I think we could look at the format going forward for Canada. If we can just pause it there, just go back a little bit before he spreads the ball on me. I want to show you something, Ollie, that for me, this system right here is a system you're going to see a lot for Canada in Qatar, right? You've got your back three, you've got your full back down here, which is in particular is either Hoyler or Larea, your wide left there, you've got your 3 here that are a bit of your Mavericks, and then you've got a 2. He's playing in this 2 here, which we don't expect to see him today, but when he is playing in that 2, he has that ability to get everybody on one side and that cross-field ball pass, which could be crucial.
That's where I think he can be a game changer, particularly off the bench for Canada, is that if they're maybe in a situation where they're chasing a game and their team is sitting off a bit more like Uruguay is at 2-0 here, the game is in front of him. He has so much ability in those situations, and we see in tight spaces here as well.
Tight spaces, come straight away, plays the ball forward and looks up. You know, he's got a bit of swagger about him. I think the way he opens his body up away, the way he passes the ball, he passes it a bit with authority as well. Players receive it. There's something about that. You can see, look at the turn right here. He receives the ball and he's turning right away, like straight away driving forward and not worrying about it. And look how he gives the ball again. It's that ability to turn quickly and move forward as he goes forward and dominates midfields.
And the big progression you see from the Panama game is his ability to make those decisions quickly, right? Yeah. You know, it's one thing to be tall and athletic and have brilliant technique and all the things that Ismail Kone has. if you can't use it, then it's not good for much, right? And he's starting to develop, I think, that brain to make the right decisions and make them quickly at the international level.
He certainly is. And other players are understanding, when you play with Eustáquio, they're understanding that he can play the ball quickly now, and he's thinking quicker as well. That's what scouts are looking at already, the ability to think quick and play quick here.
It's Eustáquio and Davies, right? The two best players, the two quickest minds on the team, and Kone's right there in terms of that wavelength. That is such an encouraging thing to see, I think, when you're talking about two top-class players like that.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's got the ability to recover very quickly there and play the ball back as well as he sees it. Good with his back to goal as well, very comfortable as he moves his way through midfield. And then we've got something this as well, which is we picked out in this as well during the game, but this is fantastic.
I mean, he's on the edge of his own 18-yard box there, on the edge of the D. 3 guys around him putting pressure on him, and just look at the confidence here to take that out of trouble. And then after that as well, he's not just going to put that into feet for Theo Corbeanu, he's going to set him away. Like, there's not many players, I think, have the confidence and the comfort in that kind of situation, let alone a first-year pro, to pull off something like that.
John Herdman refers to this team as New Canada, but within New Canada, we're getting new Canadians because they're playing with swagger and intensity, right? This is what we're seeing now. This is a player that's hardly had any caps, and then he's playing games like that against world-class players in midfield, like Valverde and others, and the ability to control the ball. This is why the sky can be the limit for this player, and why I think we're going to get it into our post-game show, but why he can be trusted to play big-time minutes at the biggest competition in the world.
And you go back to that Panama game as well, and you see, John Herdman does identify these guys, right? I think it's the same with Johnston. It's been the same with a few. When he sees a player that he sees real potential in, he's going to put them into a situation early. He's going to invest in them and grow that player. And now it's starting to pay off in a player that you could see play on the pitch in Qatar.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to see him in Qatar. And do we trust him to start? I think this is a big game for him today, right? Again, with Piet and Kay in behind him, he's got a little bit more coverage. I love the fact that he can be a maverick, get into make those runs, and playing with someone like Osorio today as well, where he can make those runs into the final third. We saw it in the playoff game for Montreal when he scored the crucial goal against Orlando. He has the ability to think quicker and reach the final third as well. So we're not looking at a 6 here, Ollie. I think we're looking more of an 8.
No, and again, I just think in games where we're probably going to see Canada chase a game at some point, we're probably going to see them go behind against a team like Belgium and Croatia, right? And you need players who can come off the bench and potentially impact things, potentially get Canada back into a situation like that, as difficult it's going to be as against that level of opponent. And I think Kone is a gift, right, in terms of the weapon he gives you, that range of passing, the ideas, just the willingness to try things, I think, that other players won't. He's going to be a special talent down the road, but that's already there, I think, in this game.
Yeah, credit Wilfried Nancy, who has developed this player at Montreal, has been a brilliant mentor for him already, given him the opportunity to play the games, then withdrawing him a little bit. Samuel Piet's become an on-field mentor. He gets to play on the pitch with him today. Piet was almost a substitute in his shadow for a while. Then he came back like all great professionals did and said, I'm taking your spot. Then he found a way to get them on the pitch together. They won significant MLS games and big-time minutes. We played big minutes in the playoffs as well. Arguably one of the best teams MLS has created within Canada as well. So he's a star, no doubt about it. He might not play another MLS minute, but he's going to play in the World Cup. And we love the fact that he's Canadian. Ismail Kone, the bright star for Canadian national team.
Well, KJ had a chance to speak to a lot of those players back in September, and I had asked a lot of the CF Montreal guys, what Bayern meant to the German national team, Juventus, the Italian national team. You're seeing with CF Montreal, with all the players now, and what they mean to this national team. We're going to be seeing a lot of them here. Will Kone continue to impress? Will Cavallini show that he can still be relied upon to provide offense? And how will Osorio look? This is all about getting the match legs back under the players, and it's coming up next.
Canada's men's national team is brought to you by the Toyota Corolla family, hatchback, sedan, and hybrid.
Fun. Intelligence. Drive. They run in the family. Corolla.
New Degree Advanced. First ever 72-hour nonstop protection with motion sense. Tested to the limit and proven.
Still feeling dry and fresh.
72-hour nonstop protection however much you move.
For life's transitions, working from home, and even small businesses, life gets better when you have space. With no long-term contracts or leases, get the size you need. First 4 weeks free. Access Storage. Proud partner of Canada Soccer's men's national team.
Think you've seen tough? You've seen nothing. When you're absolutely drenched and still take the final shot? Not even a challenge. Playing extra time under the beating hot sun. Hardly sweating. When the wind's so chilling it cuts to the bone? Now we're getting somewhere. Playing in Canada's tough. We're not sorry about it. Want to beat us? Come on. We're made for this.
Thank you, Canada, for making dreams come true. We're with you all the way.
This broadcast of Canada Soccer's national teams is presented by Allstate. You're in good hands.
Matchday Live presented by CIBC right here on One Soccer. We're moments away from kickoff between Bahrain and Canada, and we have received an update when it comes to the starting 11. Gentleman Daniil Henry, who was going to be in, who was going to captain, is now out.
Yeah, I'm gutted for Daniil. He's picked up an injury in the warm-up by the sounds of it. Joel Wartzman comes in, so a massive opportunity for him. But yeah, just really, really tough to take for Daniil Henry, and you would think that now puts his World Cup in some doubt.
Yeah, crushing for Daniil. Great for Joel. What an opportunity he's got. You know, we've been waiting for this opportunity, the former CPL, and now he gets his first start. And the other thing, too, is, again, it's about the profile of where you want to put them. Cornelius, more seen as a left-sided player, not necessarily that one who can play in the middle of this three. You have to think now this is why Joel Wartzman will go to Qatar, even if Daniil Henry's fine, because he can play centrally in that position. So, you know, with Vittoria, whether he can play 3 games in the World Cup is a question mark. Daniil Henry has also got question marks, and now Joel Wartzman, that midfielder, gets to play with Johnston and Miller, that club connection that works so well. Now they can work together as a 3 today for Canada.
So Joel Waterman earning his first cap for country. Daniil Henry out with injury. It will be Sam Piette wearing the captain's armband. Calling this one, Gareth Wheeler and former Canadian international Jimmy Brennan.
Just 12 more days, that's all, until Canada takes center stage at the FIFA World Cup. 12 days until a 36-year wait is no more, and 12 more days of preparation for Canada before the eyes of the world are cast on the Kings of the North like never before. This right here is the first of 2 matches to be played in the build-up.
She was being annoying. I had to get rid of her.
World Cup caliber
she's over in her chair now.
As Canada with a full squad faces Japan. But here and now, inside Al Khalifa Stadium, it's a different looking Canada side taking on gracious hosts in Bahrain. The match critical for preparation with acclimation, important competitive match minutes, as well as being a testing ground for John Herdman to establish what players are ready to face the challenge ahead and what work still needs to be done in order to succeed in a very difficult group come the World Cup. Canada without a full squad today, with the game outside the official FIFA window, with many key players finishing up their final domestic league games ahead of a World Cup window. Still some familiar faces and crucial contributors to Canada's World Cup hopes and dreams, who will feature today with the squad almost entirely made up of Major League Soccer players who have now been out of season for weeks. Sit back, enjoy Canada. One of 2 more games to go ahead of the World Cup right here on One Soccer.
Sun's coming. Yeah, just listening the whole way. Glowing hearts, we see the rise of true, no strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on God holy. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on God holy. Oh Canada, we stand on God for thee. Singing opera is fucking easy, bro. Just gotta like shape your voice a little bit. Bahrain, 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 Bahrain. Oh, Saeed is the Capitan. I got you, bro. I got you, bro. I got you, bro. You're the Capitan.
Today for Canada, there's actually been a late change to the starting 11. More on that in a moment. But Samuel Piette was the
Man, look at
captain's
these
armband today.
amateur
He's
graphics.
now tied for 8th all-time in Canada
Look
caps
there,
with
like kind of
Alex
like a.
Bunbury. Alistair Johnston is now the record-tying. Well, it's actually tied a record of 27 consecutive games for Canada,
man.
equaling that number set by Bruce Wilson. It is a 3-4-3
No,
for Canada.
my
Sinclair is
headphones.
the goalkeeper. Henry is out of the starting 11. Joel Waterman comes in to replace him at center back with Johnson and Miller at his side. More on the Canada 11 in a moment. Bahrain, 2019 semifinalist in the Asian Cup. This side narrowly missed moving to the next round of qualification. And we're in a very difficult group with Iran and Iraq. Conceding late goals really cost them on the road to 2022 in the World Cup. Instead, their focus firmly cast on 2026. There is Daniil Henry walking off the field. Has to be absolutely crushed, suffering an injury in warm-up, so he is out. Also familiar names, Lorea, Kay, Osorio, all in the 11 today, with Lucas Cavallini leading the line. Ismail Kone in the 11 as well. And Raheem Edwards, his first full appearance for Canada since
Piette
John
is
Herman's
captaining
very
because
first
he's the
game in
oldest.
charge of the Canadian men's
That's
national
about
team.
what makes sense to me.
There is Sammy Piette coming off a very good season with CF Montreal, and
Where's this game
his
being
role,
played?
just simply put, with the unknown around how much and how far 39-year-old Ateem Hutchinson can be pushed.
Man.
His job, his task.
Oh, it's in
at the
Bahrain.
World Cup, maybe far
It's in
greater
Bahrain.
than what he experienced
It's in Bahrain.
in World Cup
It's in
qualifying.
Bahrain.
For John Herdman today, his 46th match in charge of Canada.
Wow.
That's good for second place all time.
Sergio Ramos has
One
been omitted
game
from
more
the
than
Spain
Stephen Hart and
team.
Holger Osiek. There are your substitutes today. Limited bench for Canada. The final games of the domestic campaign before the FIFA window opens up are going to be taking place this weekend. So a very different looking Canada side for this game today. For some players here, for Canada, bigger games are to come in the days ahead. For others, supplementary
Let's
roles
get
in
this
the
game
26-player
started. I'm
squad
tired.
will simply be as good as it gets for them. And for another group entirely, this is the one chance they'll have to contribute to Canada's preparation ahead of some of the biggest games and moments of their lives. It all makes for an intriguing context here today for a game generating substantial interest across Canada as World Cup interest and buzz really starts to build in earnest ahead of tournament kickoff. 12 days, that's it. And in lieu of a wreath ceremony,
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me Gareth Wheeler without a voice.
service. Gareth Wheeler alongside former Canadian men's national team player Jimmy Brennan here today. It's starting to get really real for Canada as they Attack down this right-hand side. It is Richie Lorea skipping past his defender and out for an early corner kick. Seeing the boys back on the field, it just makes it seem that much more real that the World Cup is nearly upon us.
Yeah, of course it does, and it's great. It's a great opportunity as well for a lot of these players that haven't had matches, and again to showcase themselves and put on a performance where John Herdman's going to take them to World Cup. So I'm expecting these players to be full throttle today, playing at 100%, giving everything that they have, because you've only got this game and then the Japan game, and those are your two other opportunities to make sure that you're on that flight to Qatar.
Lorea wins that header. There are some similarities as you're watching between the way that Bahrain plays and Morocco. They both play in a 4-3-3 system. Quite frankly, this time, the way that the schedule is working out, it's a headache to set up these fixtures in the lead up to the World Cup. Bahrain here today. We mentioned it, Japan next week. Bahrain also plays Serbia next week as well. So you get the games.
Oh, I forgot to start the clock. I'm a dum-dum.
Right now it's just past 6:30 local time in Bahrain, and it's 29 degrees Celsius.
Bahrain.
No air-conditioned stadium here today that awaits them in Qatar, but they're going to have to deal. They're going to have to suffer a little bit over the course of 90-plus minutes here today.
Dude. We'll start the clock when she hits 2 minutes.
Kamal Miller taken down.
Yeah, Jimmy Brennan.
Canada side, and we'll document it over the broadcast that Kamal Miller's one of them. You want to see him get back to his feet as quickly as possible. He and
Well, that's not good.
Alistair Johnston are just critical pieces of this Canadian back line. Just got caught right there.
Yeah, he did. I mean, this is the last thing that you want to see Miller go down there. You don't want any players getting injured. And obviously, Daniil Henry as well. You know, you feel bad for the kid. You know, this was an opportunity for him as well to play 90 minutes and be in that squad to get the World Cup and then pull out of this match before it even started. You feel for Daniil Henry, but it's also opened up a door now for Waterman to get in there and showcase what he can do and give him an opportunity now to play 90 minutes.
The ball taken off Mark Anthony Kay's foot. Kamal Miller. Good movement
I'm
there.
losing my mind right now.
Kay, he's stuck, and it's going to be another Canada free kick. Those issues.
Yo, is Bahrain just trying to injure us?
Line, magnified even more so by Scott Kennedy. Just about a week and a half ago, suffered a shoulder injury. He will not be going to Qatar. We'll get more word, and when we get word on what the issue is or was with Daniil Henry, we'll be sure to pass that along.
You know, as a player as well, when you're this close to playing in a World Cup, you want to go out and perform in this match and give everything that you have. But in the back of your mind, you're still thinking, I've got to be careful here. I've got to be careful of these certain challenges because I can't afford to get injured right now. And when you're playing against Bahrain as well, they've got nothing to play for. They're going to end up playing hard and physical.
Kone on the ball, good first touch, plays it across. Cavallini
just
couldn't get
snap.
his toe to it. Good, quick, decisive movement down that Canada right side. Strong challenge by Raheem Edwards. The referees are from Kuwait, and they allow play to continue. Johnston, wide right to Lorea.
Happy.
Plays that ball up and over. Defender made a little bit of a meal of it. Going to go out into touch for another Canada corner
This
kick.
pitch looks terrible.
It's good to see Oso back on the pitch as well.
Looks like it hasn't had
See how
water
long he can
since
last today.
Tuesday.
Obviously, he's vital to this team as well because he's that player that we need in the midfield as well that can get on the ball, he can control games, wants to get forward, creates opportunities, and hopefully he can get through a good 90 minutes today.
Edwards inside to Jonathan Osorio, to Piet. Edwards. Offside flag goes up. You're right, when it comes to Jonathan Osorio, cap number 56 today, played in 13 of the 14 games in the Octagon, 8 starts for Osorio as well, but has only played 18 minutes since August 21st. Missed the last Canada window as well as, in fact, he hasn't been with the Canadian men's national team since March, so.
Yeah, it's a long time to be out. Absolutely it is. And I'm sure he's buzzing just to be back on that pitch right now, playing his football.
There's Dane Sinclair, his second cap, and We wish all the best to Max Crépeau. Suffered a broken leg in that MLS Cup final on his way to being crowned a champion with the LAFC. Puts Dane Sinclair in the proverbial backup or number 2 role. This is his second cap for Canada in his first game. As Ismael Kone, big touch,
what a
in the middle of
touch.
the park. Here he is in alone.
Kone!
It's Ismael Kone. Oh, Canada. Oh, baby, what a goal.
Baby.
What a finish that was. His first touch was absolutely excellent. Came across the line. First touch sets him up. Has another great touch as well, so he can open up his legs one-on-one with the keeper. He knew exactly what he was doing, and there's no way he was missing from there. Great to see him on the score sheet now.
What a way to score your first Canada goal in style. It was the parting of the Red Sea, and Kone went straight through.
Was that 6 minutes
It was
in?
calm and cool. Put it into the top of the
8
net.
minutes in?
Ismael Kone continues to
Put
impress
8
and gives
minutes.
Canada that 1-0 lead. Game quickly back on.
It was a great ball by Miller as well to see Kone making that run across. Perfect pass.
6 minutes. Oh, what's going on with the broadcast?
Sinclair plays that ball out. Good start for Canada.
It has been a good start, but that's what we're expecting, aren't we? They've got to play with a lot of energy, high tempo. They can't take their foot off the pedal in this match.
Edwards.
Edwards so good when he gets one-on-one. There, you'd like to see him just get it out of his feet and knock it past him. Use his pace. He's tried to drop the shoulder, but he's a little bit too close to the defender. Ended up losing it. Had to commit the foul.
It's incredible from Kone. He just joined Canada in the last FIFA World Cup qualifying window. This is his 5th cap here today. He's wearing number 13. We're used to seeing a Canadian wearing number 13 dominate in the middle of the park, and that's Atiba Hutchinson. And Kone just broke straight through. He's really making a case to not only play, but potentially start for John Herdman come that first game against Belgium. Moments like that certainly will not hurt his case.
No, he's an excellent talent. He really is. What a bright future he has. There's a lot of speculation now. Teams are looking at him. Where's he going to end up going? But he deserves it. He deserves it. He had an excellent season. You can see the confidence that he has as well when he's playing. Tell you he doesn't play like a young 20-year-old, does he? Plays like a mature, experienced midfielder.
Good ball out wide left to Edwards. Had a really good season with LA Galaxy. Kay switches on to Alistair Johnston. Miller.
Somebody dropped some coffee in the control board there. Just lost the feed. One Soccer is experiencing technical difficulties.
Apologies for the technical difficulties. Here is Mark Anthony Kay. Another look at the Kone goal. That ball was actually bouncing inside the 18. Difficult, but it was that touch right there, Jimmy, that opened things up.
Yeah, he set it up. He got it out of his feet. Didn't break his stride. Gets his head up as well. Sees where the keeper is. And yeah, it does have a little ball, but his eyes were on it. He knew what he was doing. Made great contact. Keeper had no chance. It was a clever run. What a great run that was coming across the line.
One of 5 CF Montreal players on the field right now. With Henry going out, I mean, your back 3 is Johnston, Waterman, and Miller. The nucleus of that very good CF Montreal side from the season. Speaking with Alistair Johnston, he said he was training in the build-up to this game and rejoining the Canadian men's national team. Essentially, their back 5 was all intact, and even the central midfield positions with Kone and Piet being able to sit in the central midfield. You had Chouanier and Broguillard on left and right, and you had the back 3 that are on the field today. So they were able to train together, and there's familiarity amongst the group, and in terms of the way that they expect to play come the World Cup. Osorio gets it out of his feet.
Oh, nice.
Oh, good footwork. So across.
Oh, shit. Is it off? Yeah, it looked off.
I thought he was going to pull the trigger there, but he got his head up, knew where Cavallini was. That's where the big man's got to look across the line as well. Can't be caught offside there. Such a clever player, Jonathan Osorio. Just seems to know where everybody is on the pitch.
Didn't really get an appropriate angle, but that was close.
It was close. It was up to me, I would say it wasn't offside.
Well, Osorio looking sharp. He loves to work from left to right. His role with Toronto FC before his injury and the neurological issues he was experiencing, it was a top season from Jonathan Osorio as well. Good to see him starting brightly here today. Was encouraged by Bob Bradley to push forward and find those pockets of space and be much more aggressive on the attacking side of things. And of course, Oso did score at the Azteca against Mexico in a 1-1 draw in World Cup qualifying. Kone.
Pitch looks a bit heavy down the flanks, doesn't it?
It's bumpy. The pitch is long. Again, these aren't the conditions that they'll be playing in 2 weeks' time. Bahrain content to just sit back for a time being. A little bit of a miscue right there. Kay let it go under his foot. Good turn, ball played across. Dates.
Oh, fuck.
Get enough on that. And it's Magdi Humaydin who gets the goal. First real chance of the game for Bahrain. Came up a Canada mistake, and just like that, it's 1-1.
It just goes to show you, especially in international football, you can't give the ball away cheaply. You'll get punished. And going into this World Cup, those teams will definitely punish you as well. But you can't take anything away from that finish. What a great strike. Good ball over into the box. Makes great contact. And Sinclair just can't keep it out.
Magdi Humaydin beats Dane Sinclair. That's the first shot that Dane Sinclair has faced as a Canadian men's national team goalkeeper. Did get a piece, just not quite enough. And completely against the run of the play, we're level.
Herman's going to be upset with that. For almost 15 minutes now, they've been in total control, dominating the play, moving the ball side to side. They've got their goal early, and then give the ball away cheaply. They get punished.
It's those kinds of mistakes that you'll simply get burned when you step up a level and play the likes of Belgium and Croatia, even Morocco. Some top players across the sides that they'll play against. Okay. Cavallini looking to get in behind the back line. Waterman. Breakout season for Joel Waterman at CF Montreal. A real success story of what's happening in Canadian soccer. Gets drafted into the Canadian Premier League out of U Sports. Does very well with Cavalry. Gets a chance with CF Montreal in Major League Soccer and has grown into that role and put himself in a position where it looks like, with the injuries that have popped up for Canada, he's likely to be part of the 26-man side that goes to Qatar. Here's Bahrain as the ball given away again. Piet closes down. Yusuf turns.
Oh my God.
Past Dane Sinclair and off the post. Massive deflection on the Abdullah Youssef effort from distance. Sinclair fooled, saved by the post. Another giveaway, another chance. Self-inflicted wounds by Canada.
Yeah, they need to settle down and get back on that ball again. Get that confidence.
El Sheikh to take the corner kick. In swinger, it's a good one. Sinclair punches clear. Foul on Kone. Canada free kick. Kone. Good ball between the lines. Johnston inside to Piet. Big switch. Good ball by the captain to Edwards again. Works through his man. Free kick coming up for Canada here in the 18th minute.
Edwards, it just seems like he's fighting it a bit. He's got to relax, calm down.
Edwards was part of the Canada team in the June window, didn't play, was actually sent off against Honduras in that game. There was a melee late on in that match. First game since 2018 for Edwards for Canada. Here's Alistair Johnston to take the set piece. Plays to the far post. Goalkeeper Abraham Fala comes away with it.
It's too easy for the keeper. You'd like to see him whip it in there. In a good area, wrap your foot around it, make it difficult for the keeper.
Interesting that Johnston found himself on set piece duties with a full squad. It's usually the likes of Davies, Eustachio, Hoylett who take control of those duties. Lorea. Okay, had a chance to turn, went back instead. See some of the issues that the surface is creating.
Yeah, it's lively. Ball's bouncing all over the place.
Really good switch by Osorio. Kone Decay. Lucas Cavallini stuck right there. Important game for Lucas Cavallini as well. Cavallini, 17 goals. This is his 33rd Canada appearance. Had a really stop-start season for Vancouver Whitecaps. Started slow, grew into the season, looked back to his old self. Late on the season received a 4-match suspension. And he, like Osorio, just hasn't been starting or playing regular football for quite some time. Here's Osorio. Edwards inside. Stayed on his feet, earns Canada a throw.
I like the runs that Oso and Kone are making. They're sitting in the little pockets, making it difficult for the opposition. It's a great ball over top. There's nothing wrong with those because you see far too often players always want it at their feet, but sometimes you got to make the hard runs in behind to open teams up. And both have been very, very good so far in this match, getting in behind.
What up, everybody?
Mohamed Adel getting back to his feet for Bahrain. Obviously, the game model in this match is going to be a lot different than what we're going to see against the number 2 ranked team in the world in Belgium, World Cup finalists from 2018 in Croatia. Possession of the ball will be precious, and you're going to have to be creative. You have to understand how to break down some bullish back lines. Osorio. Good ball to the far post. Didn't quite arrive to Larea. Good control by Youssef. Miller. Looking no worse for wear from that early knock. Sinclair needs to be careful. Good ball to Kay. Just couldn't judge that ball. Piet, as he does so often, wins that ball back in the middle of the park. Here's Osorio. Overlapping run. Too much of an ask for Larea that time around.
You got to keep in mind as well, Gareth, that these players haven't played in a while. And you know, in the first 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes, the lungs are going to be burning. They're going to be feeling fatigued. You know, and it's not going to be the same tempo that they're going to be playing in the World Cup. But the players have got to get something out of this game because this is really about their fitness as well. They've got to get through this little hard barrier that they're going to feel. That's why it's important to keep the tempo high.
That's exactly how Herdman classified it. As we spoke to him ahead of this match, he wants to push his players here today, but in a safe way.
Absolutely, of course. And he'll know the players as well, and you'll see the second half, which ones are going to get pulled off, and some will get rested because he can't push them too hard, but he's right. He definitely wants to get something out of this match for their fitness levels.
Herdman also reiterating it's been a good decision to come to Bahrain early. It came with expense, it came with commitment for these players, but the reality of time zones, the climate, just the adjustment. The way that he put it, that it cools down in the evening, but even on a hot evening, it's like a hot, or a cool evening is like a hot evening in southwestern Ontario. Edwards in behind the back line. Abdel. Dangerous ball. Well closed down by Miller and Kay. Ball is wayward. Saeed. Back to Al-Hayab, to the goalkeeper, Lutfala. Early goal by Ismail Kone gave Canada the early 1-0 lead. Humayden equalized for Bahrain after Canadian error in the middle of the park. Gareth Wheeler, Jim Brennan with you here today. The first of 2 Canada games today. The Canadian women's national team, part of our doubleheader, they faced Brazil in a friendly. Misjudged by Waterman. Well done by Kamal Miller to come over to help out. It's going to be called back as a foul, as perhaps Joel Waterman pulled Youssef back.
Yeah. You can see what he does there. He just pulls him. Doesn't get his body right. You know that ball's coming long because you saw the players up and around the box. They're asking the goalkeeper to kick, go long. You're expecting the defenders to win and pick it up second pieces. That's why it's so important. You can't get caught wrong side of the man. You're relying on your center backs there to win it.
It's taken by Marhoun, plays that up. Miller knocks that out, just a half clearance. Al Hayam caught by Alistair Johnson. Another set piece opportunity here for Bahrain.
Gets his studs up. There's no need for that challenge there. Just make yourself big. Throw your body in front of the ball.
Al-Aswad, good ball in. Sinclair punches again.
Did you just call St. Clair Sinclair?
Edwards lets that run to touch. Well done by Raheem Edwards, and a goal kick coming up for Canada.
Uses his body well. Knows exactly where the defender is. Just lets it roll out.
Some questions being asked of Dane Sinclair.
Did it again.
As I mentioned, his previous cap was against Aruba in a 7-0 victory. Canada outshot Aruba.
Who's calling him Sinclair?
First round of World Cup qualifying, 23-0 in that game.
A lot of shots.
Adele was down just a few moments ago. He's run his race. Unable to continue. On comes number 17, Ahmed Bougamar. Okay. To Cavallini. Bahrain remaining compact. They keep playing a high line.
That's where the Canadians now just be patient. Move the ball. Keep it, get into a rhythm.
Johnston got that caught in his feet. Has some space and a chance for Bahrain to get on the counter. Ball over the top, not good enough. Up and over and out.
Just giving the ball away way too easy, especially when you're comfortable. Your numbers up in certain areas. Just move it. If there's nothing on, then start again.
It's worthwhile pointing out that Osorio and Kone are playing in behind Cavallini. I mean, it's a much different looking attack once the full squad is together. Osorio and Kone can play in those advanced roles, as both have done from time to time for their club as well, especially Osorio playing to the left, Kone a little bit underneath as well, but both are typically more central midfield players.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Well, you see what Bahrain was doing there. They're in that 4-1-4-1, that shape. So Kone's going to sit finding those little pockets, and same with Oso. He'll sit in the pockets as well, because what you're trying to do, you're trying to pull them out, try their midfielders out, or make their center backs come forward to create space. And if they don't come, you get in the ball and you turn, you start driving at defenders. And you can even see at times where they're interchanging, where also will drift out wide. Edwards will come into that little pocket, and same on the other side, where Larrea's dropping in and Kone goes out. It's just that interchanging movement where you're trying to shift defenders to create space.
The drinks break here at the half-an-hour mark. Overall, Jim Brennan, your impressions from what you've seen from this Canada side. You'll really like the goal that they scored. The one they conceded, not so much.
I mean, look, the first 10 minutes, I thought they were very, very good. It was good energy, tempo, the movement was good. And then obviously we conceded a goal cheaply, which kind of took the wind out of our sail a little bit. We just haven't got back into that rhythm. But again, here it is. Wakone making a fantastic run. Miller sees him, plays a perfect ball. And what a finish that was. Even his first touch.
Right here.
Right there was perfect. Defender didn't know where he was going. And even though the ball just bobbles a little bit, still connects well with it.
And composure to finish as well. His first Canada goal. You're not going to see the Canada giveaway. That happened much earlier. Canada was simply scrambling. Sinclair just got caught going the wrong way. Canada just can't quite rotate quick enough after that giveaway in the middle of the park.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, look, even with the back three, they've got to defend a little bit better. A couple of times they're on the wrong side of the man, or they're trying to win the ball. Sometimes you don't have to win the ball. Just contain the player that's in front of you. Keep him away for goal or usher him outside. You don't always have to win it.
Good flick on. Youssef from distance. Sinclair diving stop. Does well to control as well.
Why does he keep saying Sinclair?
He's got on the ball Abdullah Youssef.
Dane, he does well there. Sees the ball the whole way. Makes a very good save.
Okay. Goes long. Edwards, he's in. Raheem Edwards.
Oh, God.
Quicker than that.
Too many touches, bro.
Good run by Edwards. He has a good touch. That's where you got to hit it. You're not going to get that time, especially in international football. There's your touch. Hit it now. Takes way too long. Sometimes it doesn't have to be perfect, but you've got to make contact with it.
On the positive side, that switch is on. It's been on all game, and some wonderful service over the top by the Canadian team here. That was a great ball by Mark-Anthony Kaye. Canada in no hurry to take this corner. It's Johnston and Osorio. Go short. Johnston goes far post. Kaye's there, Miller's there. Miller knocks that down and wide of the mark. Miller's come close on multiple occasions, still looking for his first Canada goal. He's got more involved in set pieces, trying to get on the end of it. Stephen Vittori has been the primary target on those set pieces for Canada. But Miller, coming off a sensational season with CF Montreal, just continues to grow in confidence and prominence in this national team. Waterman comes across as well to let that run to touch. Johnston, the Iron Man of the Canadian men's national team, played more games and more minutes than any other player in the octagon.
Iron Man, Iron Man. His
Family
name is
resides
Will
in
Johnson.
Jimmy's hometown of Aurora, Ontario. Waterman. Kone just loose with that touch. Correa foul and free kick upcoming. It's the first ever meeting between Canada and Bahrain, and I'd say, well, how is Bahrainian football? Well, they're developing. They've actually done quite well in 2022, 9 wins from 12 games. Did have a setback against another CONCACAF side in Panama last time out in a 2-0 loss. There is John Herdman, plenty of attention on the Canada head coach, what he may have up his sleeve, how he'll continue to inspire this group and a nation at this upcoming World Cup. We haven't had many figures and personalities like John Herdman in the sport in this country.
No, he's got a great personality, truly is a leader. It's great to see what he's done with this national team program. Not only the men's and the women's as well that he's worked with, brought them great success, brought the men to the World Cup. Truly has done a tremendous job with this national program.
He actually has history playing against the manager of Bahrain. As Bahrain can't go on the counterattack. Marhoun, that's a crafty ball inside. Youssef, give and go, right back to him, to the far post.
Wow.
Just couldn't connect. That's wonderful build-up play. Combination of Marhoun and Youssef. Final touch, just not there.
Again, we're just giving the ball away too easy. Too easy in certain areas. Trying to play threaded passes. Sometimes, if it's not on, don't play it. If the window closes, you can't play it.
Helio Sousa is the Bahrainian manager. They faced one another, Herdman and Sousa, at the Toulon tournament in 2018. It was a Canada under-23 taking on the Portuguese under-19 side, which Sousa previously managed. Played to a 0-0 draw. On the field that day, by the way, for Canada back in 2018, the likes of Jonathan David, Mathieu Chouanière.
Stop looking at me, Schwan.
Osorio. Larea taken down. Although Richie's not going to like that. So Edwards and Johnston look to be over this set piece opportunity from distance for Canada, in fairness. Put 30 yards out. Edwards hits, gets through. Goalkeeper was able to deal with that mild deflection, and
it's a bit odd seeing Johnson on all the set plays. Normally you'd see a Piet or maybe an Oso.
Yeah, I just think the typical options will be the ones that you're going to see join up with the Canada squad after this weekend. Canada's squad announcement.
Let's go, Canada.
26 players
Let's
that will
go.
be making the trip to Qatar will be
Let's
announced on
go,
Sunday
Canada.
morning.
Go, Leafs, go. Go, Leafs, go.
Approximately 10 a.m. Eastern time. One Soccer YouTube channel is your place to be for instant reaction and analysis after the squad announcement is made. Marhoun, good sliding challenge by Kamal Miller. Keeps it in. Edwards needed a touch, didn't get one. Game's become a little choppy here as we're through 40 minutes.
Things are getting choppy. I know how you kids like them choppy.
Piet does his job. Cavallini hasn't been involved.
Cavallini just takes a seat.
Not anywhere near enough here through the first 40 minutes and change thus far. Said there's a real opportunity for Cavallini here to make an impression after Jonathan David, of course. You know, Kyle Aaron, the all-time leading goal scorer for this men's national team. There aren't players that are lighting the world on fire in that number 9 position at present time. Sinclair. Cavallini's role is diminished as this side is improved. Ball overhit and out for a corner deep in the Bahrain area. Cavallini didn't end up playing in the games against Qatar and Uruguay. Played 5 games in the Oct and just 1 start in just 14 minutes in the Nations League. Nice job by Johnson to open his body, let that run to Lorea. It's out.
You can see towards the end here, the players are starting to get a little bit fatigued, aren't they? It's expected. We've got to remember that they've been off for an awful long time now. And it doesn't matter how much running you do, you can never get your match fitness until you actually play games. But they got to keep pushing themselves.
Toronto FC players remain training through the month of October. CF Montreal players, their season ran to the end of October. But there's a difference between being physically fit and being match fit, Jim.
Oh, of course there is. You have to play to get that fitness.
Ball to the far post. Johnson's going to have to retreat. Marhoun's going to keep this in. Pushed from behind by Cavallini. Set piece coming up for Bahrain.
It's just frustration. Cavallini knows as well once he's committed that foul that he shouldn't have.
Lorea. Johnston. Another heavy touch by Kay.
The service has got to be better into the box. Players are making runs, but the delivery's letting them down.
Almost through the 45 here at Al Khalifa Stadium in Bahrain. Jim Brennan, what are your positives that you're going to take away here from the first half of play?
Well, one positive is they've got through the 45 minutes with no injuries.
Mm-hmm.
There's been some good play as well, some good movement. But you'd like to see them be a little bit more dangerous in that final third. A little bit more precise. The delivery's got to be a little bit better as well. Give your strikers an opportunity to get on the end of a ball, to have that chance to finish. But like what we said before as well. You understand what the players are going through right now, the fitness levels. You know, it's going to be difficult for them. And that's where you start giving the ball away a little bit cheap, a little bit too easy, or you commit that
Fucking
silly
scared
foul
the
that you
shit
normally
out of
wouldn't
me.
when you are fit.
What's that?
2 minutes.
No, but you just appear there.
Time will be
Fucking
added
scared
here.
the hell out of me.
I have to think the play of Jonathan Osorio and the play in the goal.
Oh,
from
back
Ismail
when
Kone
everything was
are
all over the floor.
Significant positives for Herdman as well.
I stepped on it.
Yeah, of course. Of course, it was a great play. Good movement from the young man as well. Great touch, good finish. You know, he's been good this half, so Maria.
Canada was 63% of the possession in the first half as well. 87% pass accuracy. As a player did go down here on this near side, it is Jonathan Osorio. There was a collision here on this near side.
Looks like studs down the Achilles. You better get up though, because after one of my positives was getting through this 45 minutes with no injuries.
Fortunately for Canada, the only injury happened before the game actually started with Daniil Henry, who's actually supposed to captain Canada here today, coming out. Herdman very supportive of Daniil Henry, perhaps sending a message to him in the role that he would have played for this men's national team at the upcoming World Cup.
Yeah, you feel bad for him. I mean, I was looking forward to watching Daniil play as well.
So Ismail Kone gets a Canada goal, his first for country. That came in the 6th minute. A wonderful touch, in all alone. Cool finish as well. Another big moment for the 20-year-old who might have capitalizing on a Canadian error in the 14th minute to equalize. And that's where we stand through 45 minutes in Bahrain. It's Bahrain 1 and Canada 1.
Well, I guess it's not pre-game anymore. Man, I'm off my game. Sauce. I got stupid.
Guess I'll you $10. Invest it wisely.
Yeah, I'll probably just squirrel it away in mutual funds at
Let's
the bank
fix
and
this
watch
one
their high
first
fees
off.
suck the life
It's
out of my retirement.
Seriously?
Time.
No. Switched to Quest Trade last year. Huge difference.
Really?
Hey, man. Love playing games. Just not with my money.
It's time to switch to
Oh,
Questrade,
yeah.
Canada's fastest growing online broker.
They had a
Download the
sub. I
app
should
today.
fix that too.
We wanted the fancy crib, the tricked out stroller, but we also want to keep traveling. But how? Christine found the CIBC Smart Advice Hub. It showed us how to balance the baby stuff with all our stuff. Smart financial baby steps. Hey, my first dad joke.
When our daughter and her kids moved in with us, our bargain detergent couldn't keep up.
Turns out it's mostly water.
So we switched back to Tide. One wash, stains are gone.
Don't pay for water. Pay for clean. It's gotta be Tide.
Sweet. Pushovers.
1, 2, 3,
But screw labels.
Bell has been
No
replaced
more being
by
polite.
Bug here.
No more sugarcoating.
Sorry, I should
Because we're
not.
labelless and limitless. Oat Canada, the official
name is
plant
based on
protein
Bughammer.
partner of Canada Soccer.
Bughammer.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat. Carbs to help fuel your working muscles. And fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
It's halftime and the score is 1-1 between Canada and Bahrain as we welcome you back inside our One Soccer studio. Andy Petrillo, Oliver Platt, Christian Jack with you. And I've said this before, I love when what we talk about in the pregame show comes to fruition in the game. That was the case with the young Ismail Kone, who gets Canada on the board in the 6th minute, looking good.
Yeah, I don't think we need to take much credit for saying Ismail Kone is a good player. I think it's becoming fairly apparent at this point.
Pat yourself on the back.
But yeah, he's special, right? And there's not many players in the squads, you know, in the full squads who can do this. Kamar Miller's just going to send a ball through. It's a decent ball from Miller to get it into the space between midfield and defence. But then look at his first touch from Kone. Instantly under his spell, instantly takes a defender out of the game, and then has the composure to run through on goal, head up, comfortable finish. Like, this is a player who, like KJ said when we were doing that breakdown, he's played his last game in MLS, and you know, I don't think he even needs a World Cup at this point to persuade a club to come in and take him to the next level.
No, I mean, I think he's been brilliant in the entire half in terms of his pressing, his movement, and obviously he's playing quite high up the pitch. As I said earlier, you know, the ball leaves his foot with authority, and it even does that in the final third. It does it in the midfield as well. Now, that's 3 great touches. I'm not sure which one's the best. Probably the first one to set it up, but the second one with his left foot, in terms of allows him to get to the next stage, is also a brilliant one. And then his third one, as the ball bobbles, he recognises it, and then he hits through it to go up as well. Just a really, really special talent, and you can see, you know, very comfortable in taking games over like that, and breaking the lines the way he's done has been tremendous through 45 minutes.
We're seeing his growth. You illustrated it in the pregame show, where in some games he looked young, maybe put it that way, but is really growing into his role and is looking very comfortable. But the thing is in the 14th minute, Bahrain does tie it up. So for them, we're going to talk, you know, you always say, well, what's the build-up? But when it comes to Canada, because we take it from that perspective, where did the breakdown happen?
Yeah, well, I think before we show it, a couple of things to keep an eye on. First of all, we're used to Kamar Miller stepping up, right? He needs to join the attack, particularly against teams that sit deep. So we're going to see him do that. And then watch Marc-Anthony Kaye, who also sees the plan. It's almost like a planned move. So now we play it. I want you to watch those 2 things before it happens, then you'll see what I mean. So Kamar Miller's going to step up in a second, and then they're going to be very comfortable in their attack. Now, a lot of the times we've seen that, watch Miller come towards your screen. They're the left-sided player at that point. I think Kaye needs to play the ball there. I think that's what John Herdman would say. Be brave and play the ball there. That's the first breakdown at that point. Then when Waterman receives the ball here, you can see it's maybe a little bit further ahead of him. Right-footed player would take it. Kaye's more obviously a left-footed player. And then after that is the key breakdown. Waterman continues to step in, and at that point Hamadin scores a goal. It's a bad goal and a bad way to give away, but you can see initially why it started.
Yeah, there's just been a lot of moments like that, or a few moments at least for Canada, where it's just not really been at the tempo you've needed. So you expect that maybe with guys who haven't played in several weeks. You know, you're playing out of the back on a really difficult pitch. It has to be purposeful. You have to know where the ball's going next, where your next pass is. There's times where it's just been a little bit too, you know, too soft, too tepid, not really done with any purpose, and teams will trap you and go on the counter.
So, and that's why this one is tied 1-1. We have one more half to go in this one, but we have a very busy day here on One Soccer. You don't want to go anywhere. Just enjoy your Friday with us, because then the women take to the pitch. They're in Brazil taking on world number 9. That's the first of 2 games that they'll be playing against Brazil. The next one will go November 15th, but stick with us because kickoff for that one will be 1 p.m. Eastern. 1-1, Kone opening up the scoring in this one in the 6th minute. Bahrain would tie it in the 14th minute. We'll take a look at Canada's wing play when we come back, and just overall, we know that this is a game for a lot of the players to get their match legs under them who haven't played in a while from Major League Soccer. So what have been the overall impressions so far?
To play. It's something that's in us from the very beginning, and something we take with us on every step of the journey. When we have no words, it gives us a way to speak. When we are still finding our way in the world, it gives us somewhere to belong. And no matter who we are or where we come from, it gives us the right to dream.
Christine Sinclair, as she scores at her 5th World Cup. Alfonso Davies!
It's time to celebrate the game we love. It's time to play.
New Degree Advanced. First ever 72-hour non-stop protection with motion sense. Test it to the limit. and proven.
Still feeling dry and fresh.
72-hour non-stop protection however much you move.
Think you've seen tough? You've seen nothing. When you're absolutely drenched and still take the final shot? Not even a challenge. Playing extra time under the beating hot sun. Hardly sweating. When the wind's so chilling it cuts to the bone? Now we're getting somewhere. Playing in Canada's tough. We're not sorry about it. Want to beat us? Come on. We're made for this.
Thank you, Canada, for making dreams come true. We're with you all the way.
Halftime stats brought to you by Toyota. So far, even when it comes to shots on target, and not far off when it comes to total shots, but possession, the Canadians dominating so far. We do find ourselves tied 1-1. Ismail Kone getting the goal for the Canadians, and really it's all about seeing if they can get that extra, and you really want them to enter the World Cup with confidence here, KJ. So how can they break down Bahrain?
Well, I think we saw it right from kickoff. There's space in wide areas. Bahrain are playing this 4-1-4-1. They're very narrow. They're trying to stop the ball coming through into those, inside left, inside right pockets. So right away, Canada have got opportunities in wide areas. We've seen Raheem Edwards receive the ball a lot. You've seen Richie Laryea receive the ball, particularly in the first half, a lot. And if the midfield players, particularly Kay, who switches this ball really well with his right foot, this is the first opening seconds of the game. If they can continue to do that, then you're getting in behind. This is where you want Laryea. This is where you want Edwards. Get them in behind and the ability to switch the ball. Again, this comes from Edwards on the right foot. Again, Piet plays the ball over the top. And then you've got them running back to the area where you can see there's a big problem. And Laryea, I think that's a great ball in. And, maybe somebody else on the end of that, if there's a couple of other reference points in the box, you've got another goal. Again, this is a great switch of play. And Edwards maybe puts his foot through it first time there to get a chance.
Yeah, and that's just the kind of game it is, I think, really, where it's the pitch is bad. Direct play to the wide areas is probably going to be what's more effective. I don't think that'll be the way Canada plays, in the World Cup, and that's why for me maybe the Japan game is more of a benchmark in terms of performance, but they're playing the circumstances that they've got right now.
We always knew this would kind of be a okay kind of game, right? Again, players who haven't played in a long time because their club teams are done, or just because they've been dealing with injury. Overall impressions then?
Not brilliant, but it's about minutes for me, this one. Like I said, I think Japan is the one where you look for a performance to build up to Belgium. This one for me is just about them getting some minutes under their belt.
Yeah, I'm with you. Now, first of all, evaluating that 45 minutes, I look at someone like Joel Waterman. I think he's been very comfortable in possession. I think someone like Daniil Henry has obviously got more of a physical stature, and I think he's, is a lot more experienced at this level, but Joel certainly does not look, out of place in that position. I love the fact that he's very familiar with Johnston and Miller. They can continue to play those. That's the relationship they can build. I think Piet and Kay have got to play a little bit more together and see whether they can get up to the speed of the game. Azorio's been very good. You can see he was like inches away from creating a brilliant goal for Cavallini, who was very close to being considered he was onside. The flag went up, but I thought they did okay. So they're always going to create those moments. The level of intensity, it's very hot out there. He's going to drop the speed of the game. Maybe there's a few substitutes who can come on if the outcome is important to John Herdman, but I don't think it genuinely is. I think it is more about those individuals and testing them physically and mentally to get to the point that when they come off the pitch, they go, 90 minutes, I'll feel good, and then get me another one against Japan.
Yeah, Oso, I think, was the big one, just because of the injury that he was dealing with, and we just weren't sure. So it's very reassuring, for the player in particular, more than anything, to just see that he played that full half.
Yeah, and look comfortable doing it, right? Some really nice moments on the ball, including that chance for Cavallini.
Yeah, it is hot there, but we know when they head to Qatar, we've been told that the AC will be pumping so high that they've been told to have blankets ready for them on the bench. So talk about not knowing where you are. I'm hot, I'm cold, I'm hot, I'm cold. Either way, this game, it's been lukewarm, right? 1-1 is the score here in the first 45. Second 45 coming up next here on One Soccer on a very busy day.
For life's transitions, working from home, and even small businesses, life gets better when you have space. With no long-term contracts or leases, get the size you need. First 4 weeks free. Access Storage. Proud partner of Canada Soccer's men's national team.
We created Carlsberg 0-0 because even the best things can be better with alcohol-free beer. Clean one-handed backhand is better. Balancing stuff is better. Whatever this is better. We created Carlsberg. Skipping your own ad is better. Parking and space, better. So, can the best alcohol-free beer make good things better? Probably.
We're used to labels. Apologetic. Sweet. Pushovers.
1, 2, 3, bang!
But screw labels. No more being polite. No more sugarcoating. Because we're labelless and limitless. Oat Canada, the official plant protein partner of Canada Soccer.
Thank you, Canada, for making dreams come true. We're with you all the way.
Fun. Intelligence. Drive. They run in the family. Corolla.
A new era for Canadian soccer begins today. Experience the emotion of every match. Watch all the highlights, the breaking news, the best debates, and analysis. And all the information about the Canadian stars playing abroad. Get access to the best of Canadian soccer from any device. Join the new dawn of an unstoppable game. See the rise on onesoccer.ca.
Loose ball and it's in! What a strike! It's in! It's over the line!
Welcome back inside Al Khalifa Stadium in Bahrain. We hope that you're enjoying our coverage of the Canadian men's national team on the road to Qatar, the World Cup, just 12 days away. This game, the purpose for MLS and domestic-based players to get some all-important minutes ahead of the World Cup and playing on the world's grandest stage. Ismail Kone opened the scoring in the 6th minute. Mahdi Al-Humaydan equalized in the 14th. We are level 1 apiece through 45 minutes. Gareth Wheeler alongside former Canadian men's national team player Jim Brennan. I have to say the game is choppy. You know, it's no work of art, but it's great to have Canada playing 12 days out from the World Cup. It just seems like we need games like this to continue to build that excitement, and even though it might not be an absolute masterpiece, I welcome this to the alternative any day of the week.
What's the alternative?
What we've experienced the last 36 years, Jim.
Look, no, for that first 45, it wasn't great. You know, they had spells where things were good.
Rahun coming in, Kamal Miller coming across to take that away. Carry on.
They had some good spells, but a lot needs to be cleaned up and better. So you hope in this half as well, a little bit more urgency, clean up the play, create a few more opportunities, because they've got the players to do it. But you can also blame the pitch as well. It's heavy, it's bobbly. You can see even when they're trying to pass it a little bit, they're struggling with it.
Canada's next game is in Doha, so different conditions there, and United Arab Emirates as well. Piet Takei. Doesn't seem to be a change at the half. We haven't received a notification. Daniil Henry did drop out in the pre-match. I did receive notification from Canadian Soccer Communications that John Herdman will make a statement about what the injury is post-match. So as for now, we simply don't know what the player did or is dealing with right now. Piet to Johnston, Kay. Sinclair's the goalkeeper. It's a back three of Miller, Waterman, and Johnston, left to right. Edwards, Kay, Piet, Lorea, with Kone and Osorio playing underneath Lucas Cavallini, who's on the ball. Osorio to Kay. Lorea. Cavallini can't connect with Kone. What do you want to see more or different from Canada here in the second half, Jim?
Just want to see them keep it, get a rhythm in the game. I think we're just giving it away way too cheaply. We're forcing things when we don't have to. Just keep it here now. Now you've got possession. Open up. You know they're playing in that 4-1-4-1 formation. Find your little pockets. Be patient. Move the ball. Play it with a good rhythm.
Piet to Edwards. That ball has been on all day.
It is, because their fullbacks are overcommitting, protecting their center backs.
Edwards second best. Good ball, Osorio to Kone. Lorea, it's behind him. Right idea, that sharpness just not quite there. Lorea making the move on loan from one of Jimmy's former clubs in Nottingham Forest, now back to Toronto FC for the time being. Waterman steps, it was a heavy touch by Marhoun. Gifted the Canadian back line, BAHRAIN actually had numbers. Edwards. Sorio, really good footwork there. Marhoun again. Waterman slides through. Edwards beats his man. Edwards across! Kone with a sensational miss. Looked like that was in the back of the net, just couldn't quite connect. Some wonderful work by Edwards. Kone just can't provide the finish.
That's better from Edwards. Taking his man on, getting that one-on-one situation, gets to the byline, whips that ball across. And Kone, he's got to finish. Has to put that in the back of the net. You can't miss from there. Almost looks like he just took his eye off the ball. Have to finish those opportunities.
Well, the player's done little wrong on this day. This will keep him up at night. Wide open net inside the 6. Wide of target.
You couldn't have asked for a more perfect ball than that.
Best moment of the game by and from Raheem Edwards. Might be dealing with some cramping, the conditions of heat. Last played with LA Galaxy in the MLS Cup playoffs. Just a heartbreaker to the eventual champions in LAFC. This is the early half chance that Miller snuffed out to start the second half. All over the top, Waterman settles for him. Here, John Herdman barking orders, keep going. He wants that press. He wants him to win that ball back. Dangerous ball across. Okay, pulled back, foul. Lorea. Across, far post, Osorio. Sliding challenge. An important one.
What a great ball that was across. That's what you love to see from Richie Lorea. Opening up his legs, getting down the line. Plays a great ball across. Also coming in at the far post. Connects well, but the defender puts his body on the line, blocks an opportunity for a goal.
We've seen it Toronto FC so often. Marauding runs down the right by Lorea. Osorio coming late, near post, far post. Connecting with his TFC teammate. It's a goal-saving challenge by the substitute right back for Bahrain, Ahmed Bougama. Mahoon. 1v1 with Johnston. Alistair Johnston wins that battle. Sinclair gets there in time.
Johnston does well there. Eyes on the ball. And then uses his body very well to shield it. Allow his keeper come pick it up.
Here, Herdman again, tempo.
Yeah.
Keep it moving. This is what he wants to see, Jim. You want to see that as well.
Of course. You can hear Herdman saying it. Tempo, get a rhythm. Move the ball.
Kone, wonderful control. Edwards. Who wants it? It's like a rugby scrum. Lorea knocks that free. Osorio. See, some of the players are feeling it right now, Jimmy. 55 minutes in, 29 degrees Celsius.
Oh, you can see it. Look, when the ball goes out or play stops, you see a few of them bending over, trying to get their second wind. The pitch is playing a role as well. It's heavy, it's bobbly. It's taking a lot out of their legs. It's like what we said before, you can train all you want, but you need that match fitness, and the only way to get it is play minutes in games.
Big collision, Johnston.
And that's why Herdman's asking him, keep that tempo high, move the ball, play.
I'm fine.
Lorea does well, a little push from behind, reckless challenge, needless challenge in fairness by the center back Ali Hayam. Chops him down right there. Raheem Edwards to take this free kick. That was a great challenge, by the way, by the right back. Edwards goes short. Some confusion. Was it Lorea or Johnston who were supposed to show? Edwards came back from an offside position. On that replay you saw just a moment ago, it's the most difficult thing for a right or left fullback, understanding what's behind you. He played it perfectly.
Yeah, but we gotta go to the set play first. I mean, if you're gonna play, the players gotta be on the same page. You know, you're in a great opportunity there, just outside the box. Got players in there. It's gotta be better.
Fala slips. Not great. Despite falling outside the FIFA window, this is an official match. Herdman said to the host broadcaster before the game, he wants to win this game. FIFA ranking points are at stake. He just wants to keep that winning mentality going with this.
Of course, every game you want to win. Every single match that you play.
Ball cut back. Waterman gets a toe on it, not clear. Ball hit on the run. Swerves wide of goal. Minnesota United's Dane Sinclair, 25 years young, from Pickering, Ontario. Okay.
You see Miller there when he was going for that ball. Looks like he's picked up an injury or something's not right with him. Hopefully it's nothing serious.
He's
Just saw him
stretching
there,
that out.
grabbing his hamstring.
Broguillard and Fraser about to come into the match for Canada. Mark-Anthony Kaye is coming out. 59 minutes of work for the Toronto FC midfielder. And Raheem Edwards coming out for Broguillard. What do you make of the performances from Kaye and Edwards here?
I thought
today,
Edwards just, he looked tired, didn't he? It felt like he was fighting it a lot today. Just couldn't get a hold of the ball, and his passes were a little bit off. You know, couldn't get it out of his feet. Quiet game, and same with Anthony Kaye as well. I thought, you know, he had little spells where it was good, but you know, other parts of the game it was just a little bit sluggish and a little bit heavy.
Good to see Liam Fraser back in the Canadian setup, playing second division football in Belgium. His club side's still playing at present time, but allowed to come away for this Canada camp. And you're right, we saw it with Kamal Miller taking that touch, and now he remains down on the field. And put this in the category of significant concern. Picked up a knock really in the first couple minutes of the game, and again, whenever this happens, you just hope that it's cramping. I mean, the conditions are difficult. We saw Edwards down, looked like he was cramping a few moments ago, so we'll be watching Canada's number 4. The ball played through the area.
Ooh.
Now shifted from right to left. Comes through. Fouls the Bahrainian player. It's going to be a free kick for Bahrain.
Bahrain. Apologies to anyone who showed up while I was snoring.
He's trying to do, just poke it.
I didn't sleep last night.
The player really wasn't going anywhere. There was enough Canadians behind the ball. Richie didn't have to reach out there.
Mohamed Marhoun is number 8. Number 19, Kamel Al-Aswad. Marhoun hits, good one, Sinclair. Able to knock that away. It's going to be a Bahrain corner kick. Sinclair had that controlled from distance. Jassim El-Sheikh. Straight on goal. Sinclair did just enough. The ball hit over a dangerous set piece. Canada not looking confident dealing with that whatsoever.
No, he's whipped it in, made it difficult. Dane's putting his hand up, maybe he knows he could have grabbed it.
I think it's understood the talent that Dane Sinclair has. It's just he's inexperienced playing with the national team. Those have to be different contexts. When you lose a Crépeau and Sinclair's now your number 2 heading into a World Cup, puts that much more pressure on a Milan Borjan. Stay fit, stay focused, stay healthy.
For sure it does, but that's what you want. You want competition for spots. And that will it pushes all the players. When you know that if I don't perform, or if something happens to me during this match and things aren't going well for me, I know I've got this guy who's right behind me knocking on the door who wants my job. And Dane Sinclair is a fantastic goalkeeper. He's had an excellent season with Minnesota. I know Mark Watson and Adrian Heath love him to bits. They think the world of him, think he's a fantastic keeper, which he is. And now he's getting on the international scene, getting his games. The future's very bright for him. It's only a matter of time where he does and will maybe become the #1 goalkeeper. But again, you're gonna have to work for it.
Marhoun goes down, penalty given. Johnston connected with the player. It was a very good ball and a great run to the inside. Was a question whether that was inside the box or not. The referee gives it. Penalty, Bahrain.
Looks like the contact was just outside, doesn't it? Johnson just clips him while the player's in.
Close, but that looks to be right on the line as Youssef's going to step up and take this. Sinclair, a good goalkeeper when it comes to penalties. Big moment in this match. Youssef, slow approach, plays it to his right, and Sinclair got a piece, just not quite enough yet again, and Bahrain takes a 2-1 lead in the 65th.
It's a good finish. Dane Sinclair guesses right, but just couldn't get enough on it. Just got his fingers onto it. But that play there too, the build up to the penalty. It's the Canadian players not communicating properly. Players coming from deep, Piet sees him, tries to point the finger to Johnson, but as Johnson turns, it's too late. He's trying to just poke the ball, but it's just seeing that early doors. And maybe Piet has to go with the runner because Johnson can't see him.
Sinclair, an outstanding goalkeeper when it comes to penalties. He saved as many as he's conceded in Major League Soccer. Got a piece of that. It wasn't the best hit penalty by Youssef. Made connection. The goalkeeper might think that he could have done better. Difficult spot nonetheless. Now a difficult spot for Canada. They're forced to chase this game in the final 25 minutes. Liam Fraser to take this set piece. That ball, unpredictable inside the area. Could have gone anywhere. Oso was in that area. The goal scorer, Youssef, just hits that clear.
Yeah, it wasn't a great delivery at all.
Johnston. Iowakinola getting set to make his return to the Canadian men's national team. Broguillard plays that across. Smashed clear by Hugomar.
Miller's not right. They've got to get him off.
Yeah, it looks like he's limping. We've been monitoring him. He hasn't looked like he's moving freely at all.
You can see now he's babying it. It's not running right.
Lorea. Big switch, Fraser to Broguillard. He's Johnson to the inside. Broguillard plays it across. It's a good ball. Hugomar is there again. Foul on Lorea. This game going against script for Canada. In fact, in 2022, when Canada has scored first, they've gone on to win each and every one of those games, and they hadn't conceded a goal before today. Scored first and now conceded twice in this one. Lucas McNaughton is preparing to make his Canada debut as well. Let's hope this is precaution to do with Miller more so than anything else, but something more to think about if you're John Herdman. Long ball played, Lorea plays that out for a throw. So a Canada return and a Canada debut for a couple of Toronto FC players. Samuel Piette hands off the captain's armband. He's going to be replaced here in the 70th minute. Iowakinola coming in, so a progressive change. Attack-minded player for a holding midfielder. And Lucas McNaughton. What a rise he's had in recent years from playing with the University of Toronto, from being a champion, winning the North Star Shield with Pacific last season in the Canadian Premier League, the Toronto FC, and now his first appearance as a Canadian men's national team player.
Yeah, it's great to see him. From CPL to an MLS team, now to international stage, getting his cap. Really is great to see these young Canadians getting these opportunities. And it goes to show you the CPL done its job, didn't it? Give an opportunity to a player, does well, moves on to MLS team. The next thing, make an international debut.
Canadian Premier League just formed 4 years ago. They've gone through pandemics and shortened seasons and playing inside a bubble, and now you have two players representing our country 12 days before the World Cup who are products of the Canadian Premier League and the university system in this country as well. Well, add Mark Anthony Kay on top of that, playing university soccer with York. I mean, it said it. The way that we produce players here, nothing's linear, nothing's straightforward. There's different pathways. Yeah. Alistair Johnston played for Vaughan Azzurri, League One Ontario. Like, this is why that ecosystem that's building and being established right now is crucially important to the future of football in this country.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Some changes for Bahrain here for the final 20 minutes. And that's why announcements like yesterday, CIBC coming on as a significant partner and sponsor of Canada Soccer, Canadian Premier League. This is a big deal. Corporate sponsors have always shied away from soccer in this country throughout the entire time you grew up playing in this country and playing for this national team. Now there's something here. Now we're building, and this is how you're able to invest, develop, and build a brighter future.
Well, there's value now as well, right? I mean, there wasn't really a domestic league here professionally for myself and other Canadians where we had to go overseas, and that's why we spent so long over in Europe. Whereas now these young Canadians are getting these opportunities to play professionally, locally. And there's a lot more clubs and opportunities for these players than there was back in our time. And then when your sponsors are looking at it as well, saying, okay, well, we've got domestic leagues now, we've got youth international teams. So when we do invest in something, we know that that money's getting filtered back through the grassroots, which you hope it is. And you hope that we start investing more in our under 17s and the under 20s, under 15s, because that's going to be the future of this Canadian national team program for the men and the women.
Another corner kick coming up for Canada. Osorio. The ball deflected up and over and out. So let's see how McNaughton does here on his debut. He's a threat on set pieces as well. Loves to push forward. Johnston takes it. Ayo Akinola swings, doesn't fully connect. Good to see him back with the Maple Leaf. Did his ACL in the Gold Cup a summer ago. It's been a long road back for Ayo Akinola, who chose to represent Canada. Dual national. Was on the right track, and now his career just hit that obstacle through injury playing for his country. Let's see if Canada can take advantage of this free kick. If there's another area required for improvement, it's off set piece opportunities. They go short. Kone to the far post, knocked in the middle. Fraser can't connect. Amin Hassan plays that wide. Canada defending, perhaps now playing in a 4-4-2 with Ayo Akinola coming onto the field.
Yeah, they went with a back four as soon as McNaughton came on. Liberators drop back into that left back position.
Sorio wide left and Broguillard wide right. It's like another drinks break. So there'll be plenty of questions in the post-match media availability with John Herdman, about Daniil Henry, now about Kamal Miller. And on top of that, I mean, Canada's holding their breath that Alphonso Davies recovers in time. We saw a video posted by Bayern Munich earlier today of him doing some running with the trainer on the field. John Herdman did say that it was Canada's decision to allow Alphonso Davies to continue to train with Bayern Munich. Their top-notch facilities there, and to be under the watchful eye under a top medical team. So even with that, Jim, I mean, hamstring injuries, whether you've had them, your teammates have had them, it provides an unpredictable situation for players in this game.
Yeah, for sure it does. And listen, this isn't his first hamstring that he's pulled, so he'll know the extent of it as well. And by the sounds of it, it doesn't sound too concerning. Where the medical staff are saying, yep, he'll be okay, and himself saying he'll be okay. And now it's just making sure that he's getting looked after, which he will do at Bayern Munich. They'll have one of the best physiotherapists and medical staff in world football. So he's in good hands. But for sure, it was absolutely concerning when you saw him grab that hamstring in the match. But you know, now with Herdman, he's got Miller, Daniil Henry, And we don't know the extent of those two injuries. Are they going to be ready? But we're not the only nation. When you look at world football at the moment, players are dropping left, right, and center going into this World Cup.
We asked John, I mean, what the timeline might look like. He said nothing is clear, nothing is set. They really just need to see how the process plays out, which adds an unpredictable nature for Herdman in terms of his preparation. On the flip side, if you're Belgium, Croatia, Morocco, preparing for a Canada side with or without Alphonso Davies are very different propositions.
Of course, they know firsthand he's the danger man. He's the player that really got to look out for. And all the Belgian players know exactly what Alphonso Davies is like as well.
Kone, oh, we wanted Alistair Johnston to go.
Well, let's hope he'll be there and he'll be playing for us, because we definitely do need him.
Davies this week said he's still dealing with a little bit of pain, but he was encouraged to get back on the field and says he'll give 100% to Canada and expects to be playing come the World Cup, 12 days from now. McNaughton. Fraser. Broguillard. Good clearance. Surface playing its part. I mean, it's causing all kinds of problems. McNaughton. Waterman back to Sinclair. He's trying to build it out from the back. Sometimes you just need to play that long, get it out. Good high pressure from Bahrain.
I'll tell you one thing, at the World Cup, the pitches won't be as bad as this one that they're playing on today. It'll be totally different football that they're playing.
Also, the tempo by which the game is played at is going to be completely different. This is going to look like it's in slow motion.
For sure it will. And you'll even see a huge difference in their next match when they play Japan.
That's when you'll see the tempo lifted, absolutely.
For sure you will.
I mean, Bahrain does play a slower style of football. This is how they play, cagey, slow. Aren't very many goals in their games. Fraser had to be sure he was. Cavallini swinging a miss. Good challenge by Fraser. Ball played to the top, Ayo Akinola. Larea takes it from his Toronto FC teammate. Larea cuts through. Big sliding challenge by Hassan. Straight to Johnston, second phase. To Broguillard. Plays it across, good ball off Cavallini.
Oh, shit.
Did Cavallini have the last touch? It's a goal nonetheless. Lucas Cavallini makes it 2-2.
Just whips it across the box there, doesn't he? Cavallini's making a run in. Gets a little touch on it. I think it's come off the Bahrain player, his knee. But we'll take it.
I think you're right. It may go down as an own goal. You notice when Cavallini's head goes one direction, the ball goes the other.
Yeah.
that it might have not come off him last.
Hey, listen, he's a striker. He'll be claiming it.
But a well-worked goal by Canada. Full credit to Zachary Broguiard. Really good service. Hitting that across. Cavallini, right place, right time, and we're level. Feel like Cavallini just needs that little bit of confidence. It's a player who thrives when he's in rhythm, that positive frame of mind. And Cavallini foul right after a goal. I mean, it's not a Canada game or a Cavallini game if you don't get one of each.
Yeah.
More wholesale changes coming from Bahrain. Cavallini, one of Canada's top scorers of all time. I just wonder what kind of role he will play come the World Cup.
Yeah, look, that's going to be John Herman making that decision. You know, he's got the tools. He's a big striker. He'll chase things down. There'll be a nuisance up top. He can score goals. And that's the thing, too. We've got variations now with the strikers. And John will be looking at it thinking, which match do I need this player to fill in? What match do I need that player to fill in? But definitely be taking him. That's for sure.
Well, Canada's squad being announced on Sunday morning. Jonathan David will be playing his final club game with Lille, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Pacific on Sunday morning. He's a big role to play. Informed Canadian striker Jonathan David. Foul on Waterman. Osorio. Good ball, Osorio to Larea. He has options. Richie Larea. Handball, there's handball claims, and the referee waves it off. It's going to go out for a Canada corner kick. What a chance. Had both Cavallini and Akinola making very good runs inside the area.
That was a great pass by Oso. For Larea to get forward. Maybe he could have played it a little bit earlier. Just took that extra touch, allowed the defender to get back in time.
Kone takes on his man, a little bit too ambitious. Bahrain goal kick.
Just there, he could have whipped it. That extra touch allowed the defender to get back.
Very difficult to tell by the replay shown whether that was actually a handball or not. Foul, though, in the middle of the park. Liam Fraser. High Canada back line, the ball just simply wasted, not good at all. Something that was good here today, your performance of the match, courtesy of Gatorade, goes to Ismail Kone. Great goal scored in the 6th minute. Ismail Kone, your Gatorade performance of the match. Waterman. Fraser. To Akinola, that's a great ball. How many of them have we seen today? Foul.
No, there's no doubt he's got that spray in his locker. Strikes it clean. Can open it up. Obviously Akinola struggled a little bit there.
Fraser provided one of the most memorable Canadian midfield performances in a pinch back in 2019, a 2-0 victory against the United States at BMO Field in the CONCACAF Nations League. Kay left the game through injury after 13 minutes. Fraser came in and just did a fantastic job. It's a little harsh to some people that he's found himself on the outside looking in terms of midfield positions as he tries to relaunch his career in Europe, but there's no doubt about his quality on the ball. His distribution is absolutely fantastic. It's just a matter of time and opportunity and taking advantage of that, but he's always been reliable for John Herdman in Canada.
It's just timing football. That's what it is. You know, there's no doubt he's a very, very good player. I mean, look, for wide players and wingbacks that want to bomb on forward, you'd love nothing more than playing with a midfielder that's like him, that can open it up and spray it 60, 70 yards on a dime. And just as I say, on a dime, he just puts it out. But before that, he played some great balls, getting it out wide. But it's been difficult for him as well, simply because of the fact that the Canadian player pool is getting so much bigger now, and we've got a lot of quality players.
Cavallini for now is being credited with the goal. His day is done here in the 88th. Jaden Nelson coming on for a late cameo for Canada. And Richie Lorea, he's coming out as well. Jacob Schaffelberg comes in. Now of Nashville SC in Major League Soccer. Had a really good run in at the end of the season after he moved from Toronto to Nashville. Good to see the Port Williams, Nova Scotia native back on the field for Canada. A lot more speed, a lot more pace with the additions of both Nelson and Schaffelberg. We'll see. Schaffelberg looks like he's going to play on the left side. Left back, I should say. Johnston. Broguillard. He's played well since coming on. Akinola putting pressure. Another Canada corner kick coming up. It will be in the 90th.
Like them to just get it in the box. We wasted the last corner kick. A few minutes left in the game. Get it in.
Just want that ball moved away. So you just feel like if Canada can find a match winner here, just lift the spirits a little bit more. Reward them for their hard work. Johnston, decent effort. Ball cleared by Bahrain. Ball played long straight to Broguillard. Nelson. Osorio. Waterman, both he and McNaughton very good building from the back. Switches on again, Johnston. 4 minutes will be added. Kone, through ball to Schaffelberg, stumbles, plays it across. Akinola bumped his man, foul. Great ball through to Schaffelberg, just couldn't pick out a target. There was a sea of red inside the 18.
Yeah, it was a good ball, but you can see there, he slipped on the turf. Put him off stride a little bit, so we couldn't get under the ball the way that he wanted to. But it was better play. Better play by the Canadians around the box. Threaded pass, good movement. Numbers up in the box.
Kone. Another through ball to Schaffelberg. To Osorio, cuts it back. Broguillard comes off him last. That ball was there for the taking. No run rewarded. Some more excellent build-up play from Canada down that left-hand side.
A lot better, a lot better. That's where I'm thinking Nelson's got to make that run in there.
Just gamble.
Gamble, get into that penalty spot.
On the outfield, not seeing action as of right now. Mathieu Chouanière of CF Montreal, 2 backup goalkeepers. Pantemis and Thomas Hassel into Canada camp for the first time. Remain on the bench as well. Waterman, Johnston, Osorio, Kone. All looking decent to play the 90. Step in the right direction for both those players, Osorio and Kone. Especially Jonathan Osorio.
Yeah.
So many questions coming into this tie here today. What he looked like. I mean, looks pretty good by these eyes.
It's great to see Oso get his 90 minutes in. And before the match we were talking, you were thinking, oh, maybe he'll get 60, but he's pushed himself.
Also a quick note on the GOAT, Atiba Hutchinson, 39 years young, played in the Turkish Cup Wednesday, played 70 minutes. I mean, different levels, playing a 3rd division Turkish side. Still more positive news coming out of the Canada camp. And based upon the way that the defensive players picked up some knocks and injuries, we're not sure how serious. Hutchinson did play as a center back during World Cup qualifying as well, so we'll see. Plenty of flexibility, lots of issues, plenty to ponder for John Herdman as well. Ball taken off Schaffenberg's foot. Gugemar, he's been good since coming on. McNaughton steers that clear. That's just about it. Jim, do you have a takeaway after 90-plus minutes here?
Oh, look, I mean, for me, wasn't a great game. It was a little bit scrappy, but you could see, the reasons behind it and why. Players have been off for so long. It's a match to get their legs going again. There'll be a few positives as well. John will look at, and a few negatives.
Well, a hard-fought 2-2 draw for a bunch of players looking for their match fitness for Canada. Ismail Kone opened the score for Canada in the 6th minute. Lucas Cavallini, for now, is being credited with the equalizer, that coming in the 81st. 2 Bahrain goals came in between, including a 65th minute penalty. Youssef got the goal. Work to do for Canada, some concern as well, the status of Henry and Miller, but overall, purpose served. Players needing minutes, they got them here today in a competitive setup. One more warm-up match to go next Thursday against Japan in Dubai. 12 days from now, the real stuff. The World Cup is upon us as Canada faced Belgium on the 23rd.
This game against Bahrain in the books for the Canadians. 2-2 is your final as we welcome you inside our One Soccer studio. Andy Petrillo, Oliver Platt, Christian Jack with you. We knew that this was going to be a game that would feature a lot of Major League Soccer players. Their pro seasons are done. John Herdman and his staff really wanted them to get some match legs underneath them before the World Cup. We're going to go back now to Bahrain. This is live at the moment, and we're hearing some tempers maybe getting a little hot under the collar, although everyone seems to be shaking. Well, okay, we do have a little bit of finger wagging here, and it seems to be directed at the officials.
Yeah, this looks unsavory, to be quite honest. I mean, we don't know what's gone on there. Ultimately, you could see that Larea and Fraser were very vocal throughout the last 10-15 minutes with the official, even in moments of stoppage time. So you can see, just at this point, you just want to get him off the pitch.
Yeah, Larea looked really unhappy there. I'm not sure what's happened. Not particularly what you want to see at the end of the game, but I think that probably sums up the game for Canada. Just a bit of a frustrating one. I'm not sure you can take a ton out of it from a team perspective, to be honest with you, in terms of that performance, but individually maybe there's some things that John Herdman will be looking at in terms of players who did boost their stock and maybe some who didn't as well.
Tough to speculate on that one. John Herdman will be speaking to the press if we get him in, when our post-game here is going. Maybe somebody will ask him about that and what it is in particular that they were displeased with when it comes to the officiating. But it's true, and when it comes to this match, again, we always knew it was going to be a little stop and start. We always knew it was players that were a little out of match fitness, in particular ones who have been injured, and Jonathan Osorio, and seeing him get in there. So I don't know exactly what we were expecting. Maybe it was just guys getting minutes under them, but given the conditions, a little bit of the pitch, and guys like Joel Waterman getting their first cap, everything that's coming together, Dane St. Clair being between the sticks, what did you walk away with after this one?
I think a couple of players, probably Osorio, we talk about Kone, who's obviously, in a different category, but Osorio probably top of the list for me of a player who really shows that he's ready, I think. There's only so much you can take out of this game, like I said, but I thought he looked sharp. He went a good amount of minutes. He looked like the Jonathan Osorio we're used to seeing. Richie Laryea, I thought, did decently as well, again, showing that he's probably ready to play a part that we were hoping him to play. Some of the others I felt maybe didn't get quite up to that standard, but those two in particular, I think, didn't do themselves any harm. Yeah,
they were good on the day when they needed to be. It turned into a bit of a glorified training game. Like, the pace was so slow at the end that it's hard to think that, as the guys in commentary said, it's very difficult to replicate that to anything. It's basically a different sport than what we're going to be seeing in Qatar at this point. But they will feel better that they've come through a 90-minute game. We can put the end to the fact that Laryea hadn't played for 6 weeks and Osorio hadn't played for 8 and things like that. At least they've got games under their belt that they mentally will feel better about individually. For the outside world, I think we'll look at it a little bit different, but internally it's more important that Herman was able to test them.